Under the mirror's reflection, I'll be dancing with myself. When there's no one else inside, I lead a crowded, lonely life. I waited so long for my love vibration, and I'm dancing with myself. Oh, oh, I'm dancing with myself. Oh, oh, dancing with myself. When there's nothing to lose and there's nothing to prove, I'll be dancing with myself. Oh, oh, oh.
What's going on, guys? My name is El Dinero, and welcome to episode 86 of the Midnight Hour. This episode is up a little bit earlier than usual, so if you want to show your appreciation, why not do so with a like or a rating or whatever. I'm joined on this episode by Loosemore, who is a regular recurring guest and also a subscriber, a listener, one of you guys. His name is Ali, and he is a biology student as far as I know, and this topic was actually his idea. He posted it on the subreddit for the Midnight Hour, which is reddit.com/r/midnight hour, and his post was about animals and like their crazy superpowers that they've developed. So I mean, it was about one specific case, and this episode is about several cases and several examples of that. So it's a pretty cool episode. I'm actually really happy with it, and I hope that it will pave the way for more listener appearances on the show. This episode was very well tailored to Ali's I guess his specialist subject. I think he was very well spoken, and I really enjoyed the conversation. There were several things he said that were mind-blowing, and I'm sure that you guys will really enjoy listening to it. So the conversation kind of naturally diverged into what we think humanity will be like when, I guess, in the future, when we have super advanced VR and stuff like that, and sort of just the nature of human consciousness, and, you know, sort of the way that every Midnight Hour episode goes, I guess. It stays on topic for a while, and then it tailors off into a rant or, you know, a terrified speech about existential dread. So with all of that out of the way, the song that opened the show was Dancing With Myself by Blink-182, which is a cover of Billy Idol, and I heard it like by accident the other day. I had never heard it before, even though I'm a huge fan of Blink-182. And it's so bad that it's good. Like, it's objectively terrible. Like, it's woeful. But it was back before Blink had a kind of a refined sound, like when they were just sort of a raw punk band before they turned into a pop punk band. I'm sure any true hardcore punk fans out there will be really annoyed at me saying that, but whatever. Like, it sounds punk rock to me. It's outrageously sloppy and all over the place, and somehow really enjoyable. I don't know, maybe it's just me, and I've made a terrible mistake by playing it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. The Twitters of the guests on the show will be linked in the description on both YouTube and SoundCloud. If you're listening on SoundCloud, leave a like and a repost, please, if you would. I would really appreciate it. You can also download it from SoundCloud if you're on a computer. I believe there's some way of doing it on a phone, but I haven't been able to figure it out. If you're listening on YouTube, obviously that's good for you, and you can download it by whatever illegal way of doing that there is that exists. It's not like I make any money off the show anyway. Also, if you're listening on iTunes and, you know, you want to leave a rating, I'd really appreciate that. So with all of that out of the way, we're going to get right into the episode. Loosemore does the intro to this episode, and from what I can remember, the call actually cuts out, so you might not even hear it properly. But hey, it's so bad it's good, right? It's rough around the edges and it's punk rock, and that's the Midnight Hour. So with all that out of the way, enjoy.
If I had the chance, I'd ask the world to dance. I'd be dancing with myself. Oh, oh, I'm dancing with myself. Oh, oh, I'm dancing with myself. If I had the chance, I'd ask the world to dance. I'd be dancing with myself. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Murky!
No power in the verse can stop me.
What's going on, guys? My name is El Dinero, and welcome to episode 86 of the Midnight Owl. An owl is an animal that can be awake when animals are asleep, which is a great superpower. I'm El Dinero. Thank you for listening. I wondered where that was going.
Yeah, I decided to link it to the topic in some way, which I don't think I've ever done before, so that's good. So I'm El Dinero, as I just said, and I'm joined today by Loosemore.
Hello.
And biologist Ali. Just go with it.
Hello. Hello.
He is a submarine, So that's pretty good. No, but he is a listener of the show who responded to my advert on Craigslist. No, for real though, he posted a topic on Reddit which was he thought would be relevant to the show, and I decided to make an episode out of it. So that's pretty cool. And if that's not incentive to post in the fucking subreddit, I don't know what is. So today we're going to talk about animals that have like superpowers, basically. Like the type of thing that if a comic book character had, he would be like, oh yeah, that's definitely a superpower. So who actually wants to go first? Do you have something like technical, Ali, that can like, ease you into the podcast and stuff?
I can start us off. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but so there's laggerhead sea turtles. And so a lot of these animals, it kind of correlates with the idea of vision. And scientists observed that they'd always return to the same coastline to lay their eggs, coincidentally where they were born also. And they were baffled as to how sort of the turtles would get around and know how to arrive at a certain coast. And it turns out that some of their shells sort of acts like a magnetic GPS system. And they're able to sort of correlate where the coast is by remembering the gravitational pull in one area. And so when they're swimming, they can sense the sort of magnetic strength and guide them to the correct place, which is bloody ridiculous.
What the fuck?
When they were studying this actually at first, because they noticed the pattern, they got metal cages to... like conservationists got metal cages to get their sea turtles, and the study just showed completely inconclusive, and it was because the metal cage was interfering with their sort of magnetic navigation system, hence why it didn't work at first. So yeah.
Whoa.
We're just not that impressive, are we, really, as people? Like, sea turtles can do that.
Well, if you think about it, when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles used to, like, their weapons were, like, swords and knives and shit, and they just put those on their shell. Like, I mean, sure, they were tied by a piece of string or whatever, but, like, that's never gonna hold it in. So it makes sense that there's some magnet thing going on there.
I mean, you have just brought science to a cartoon, and it doesn't make a lot of sense.
What would this podcast be if it weren't cross-referencing science with fictional universes created for children? Yeah, for real though, that is a fucking mind-blowing thing. Turtles use some magnetic, like, GPS means of finding their way around the planet.
And there's like a lot of marine sort of animals that have been shown to do this as well. Like I think everyone knows that sharks can see electricity, and that's because of the water and the ions in the water. It's like a rich texture they can see.
Okay, firstly, so you said I think everyone knows that a shark can see electricity.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I was going to point that out. Then I thought I wasn't going to go with it in case you knew.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but as the host of the show, I felt like I had to bring my ignorance to attention there.
I apologize. So sharks have something called electroreception, and it's basically they're really sensitive to electrical fields, and they receive sort of electrical signals from their environment because they have like pores all over their head, and the hair responds to electrical polarity, and yeah, so it's adapted so like they can sense vibration, electrical stimuli, and even sound.
Jesus.
And that's because of the sort of how rich in ions the water is, because so it can conduct the electricity quite well.
We're like straight up unaware about a lot of shit that goes on with other species on the planet, aren't we? Like I never even understood that before. Like,
yeah.
How and sharks can like smell blood that's like 2 miles away and shit like that. Like they're goddamn super creatures.
Sharks are really not to be messed with. Like I feel like they just evolved to be the most dominant species possible. Like you do not want to be near a shark at all.
Isn't it strange though that they've gotten smaller? Like the megalodon was like 130 feet long or something like that. That's not accurate at all, surely. I think it was like, I don't know, 30 feet or something. But like now like the biggest shark is not that big. And
I mean, still, if I was face to face with a shark, I am guaranteed to shit myself.
Yeah.
I think it's big enough. But I mean, I don't know. Have they gotten smaller?
Well, there's nothing that compares to the megalodon, and I guess that's like where sharks are descended from. So like, I mean, the species has gotten smaller, or like the thing, whatever the evolutionary dialogue is, has gotten smaller, like contextually over time. Whereas like, I don't know. I mean, the blue whale is the biggest animal that's ever lived. Which, does that fucking disappoint anyone else like it disappoints me? That's kind of rubbish. Like,
yeah, I mean, as animal or mammals go, like it's not an interesting one, is it?
Nah, it's not even like violent or anything. They're apparently
Nah.
like quite benign creatures. It's not like,
Yeah.
you know, when I picture something that big, I really just want carnage and destruction and, you know, widespread death and fear. Whereas blue whales just don't really do it for me. If there was a shark as big as a blue whale, I mean, I don't know, because I'm already too afraid to go near the ocean, but I just feel like I want that fear like enhanced somewhat, you know? Just
I feel like if a praying mantis was the size of a blue whale, like that would rule the earth. You know what I mean? They're already scary looking as it is. Like a blue whale isn't really that scary. It's like it doesn't even look like anything. It's just kind of like a fat fish. You know what I mean?
Isn't it weird how some people are more scared of spiders than a blue whale? Like,
Yeah,
in comparison to size.
like, I think if I was in the ocean and I saw a blue whale, my fear there is like, oh, I hope he doesn't accidentally brush
Turn around.
against me and like, you know, fuck my shipping vessel up or whatever. But like, my fear is not, I hope he doesn't eat me, because like, I know that A, he won't, and B, he fucking can't, because
But also equally, I think if you saw a blue whale in your toilet, you'd be freaking out. I think. So I think it's all relative.
I mean, yes, but I think that's slightly
If you're a
different.
spider in the ocean, that'd be fucking weird.
Yeah, that's completely true. When you reverse the situations.
Just swimming, like you're under there, the blue whale's over there somewhere, and then just a fucking spider comes in.
If there was a blue whale like spinning webs in the corner of my room, I would be fucking terrified.
There we go, you see.
Have you ever seen like a blue whale baby?
No.
They grow at ridiculous. Like, I'm pretty sure like some blue whales go up in size by 200 pounds a day.
What?
Yeah.
That's like heavier than one of me.
Yeah, I mean they weigh up to like 200 tons, which is like more than 400,000 pounds.
One factoid I have about whales. What's the difference between a fact and a factoid, by the way? That's someone in the chat post that. Chat the comments, whatever. When a blue whale ejaculates, it releases 50,000 gallons of sperm into the ocean.
Jesus Christ.
How is the ocean not just predominantly blue whale sperm?
Well, because it's predominantly human garbage, so
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of room for the whale sperm to move around in.
Like the ocean is 50% blue whale sperm,
Yeah.
and like the plastic that goes on like beer cans.
Yeah,
that's
and,
what
and shopping trolleys. That's about 35% of it right there.
yeah.
Well, going back to about sharks being able to see electricity, I kind of wanted to talk about the electric eel and the fact that there is a species of animal on this planet that fucking radiates electricity. Like, does that not seem really fucked up to you when you think about it?
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
it's weird, but I mean that even an animal has electric in front of it. It's like a fucking Pokemon.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's got electroreceptors in its body, and they like detect changes in the electrical field around the eel. So when they're surrounded by prey or whatever, like they know, like it is literally a sixth sense. Like it's another sense that they have, something that we're not capable of understanding. So they have like an electric field, and they have like a pulse type radar thing. So when there's prey coming, they're able to like smother it and, you know, knock it out with electricity. And they're basically a living, breathing stun gun with the agency to act on its own accord. So,
But aren't we quite similar in the sense that like our heart beats due to electricity, and that's how our brain functions as well?
I guess, but I feel like that's kind of a different type of electricity, because it's not like electrolytes that we're using to. You could never like transfer that electricity.
To power TV.
Well, like to emit pain even, or like to, to give some kind of...
Yeah.
No.
I mean, yes, it's electricity, but it's like the science, this is technically electricity type way.
Yeah, it's like, oh, can you feel the electricity in the stadium? It's like, no, you can't. Stop it. No one can, idiot.
This is Arsenal FC.
Come on, lads. England are winning 1-0 against Slovakia in the 71st minute. There is no electricity.
From a Wayne Rooney penalty.
Yeah, in the 48th. It's just... Speaking of Wayne Rooney, I was going to mention about how there's an ape playing for Manchester United earning 300 grand a week, and that's an animal superpower. But then, like, The Sun ran some story about how Ross Barkley is an ape, and it turns out that he is, like, of African heritage, and he could have played for Nigeria because his granddad is Nigerian. And then The Sun was like, oh shit, we didn't know that, when we said that deliberately racist thing. And now it's come out that The Sun actually published the fucking story in the first place about Ross Barkley being eligible to play for Nigeria. So, basically, I said a thing that you could construe as racist, but as far as I know, Wayne Rooney is entirely white, so fuck you. And
also, it's not racist if he kind of looks like an ape.
Yeah, I actually use the term ape in a derogatory way a lot towards old white men who lack social skills, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
it just I was saying Neanderthal for a long time, and then people were like, you say that all the time, so I changed it to silverback gorilla. But that's actually a compliment when you say it about a guy, because it means he's really strong. So now I'm thinking, like, I should probably just stop calling people apes, because I don't want to wind up in a situation where I've said something that's literally racist and, ruin my life over it. So
yeah.
I mean, have you seen those videos of apes' memory, chimps' memory, and how quick their brain works as well, though?
No, but I have seen videos of them reacting to magic tricks.
Brilliant.
What about the one who likes James Franco?
I don't want to have anything to do with a being of any kind that likes James Franco. Thank you very much.
I'm really going on a reference to the movie, the apes.
The Dawn of the Planet of the Rise of the Sequel of the Apes?
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Sorry, I didn't know James Franco was in it. Does he get his face eaten off by apes? Because if he does, I'll totally watch it.
Nah, he, becomes best friends with a... Yeah.
James Franco, if you're listening, fuck you. Sorry, Ali, continue.
Talking of apes, on a slight different animal superpower, the Incredible Hulk can sort of... It has some scientific credential to it in the sense that we could... I mean, if you want to look green, that's maybe not possible. But the inspiration, I believe, behind the Incredible Hulk was due to a microorganism, like a bacteria. Deonococcus radiodrans. I think I butchered that name completely, so I apologize to that bacterium.
Yeah, science is really hard to read.
Yeah, it really is. But they call it Conan the Bacterium. And, I mean, I'm not seeing the Incredible Hulk, but I think the story is how he's exposed to radiation.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's why Loosemore is here. He puts in the legwork ahead of time.
So yeah, that bacterium can able to sort of rebuild DNA, and they're using it to see how we can have cancer patients, because obviously when you have cancer, your DNA sort of fragmenting and breaking down. So that sort of stabilizes it, and so yeah, if we can get the bacterium working in humans, which is, I mean, it sounds easy, but it's not.
Damn.
We can repair a lot of genetic modification that happens inside the body, and yeah, so we can become the Incredible Hulk. So Aaron's dreams of potentially becoming the Incredible Hulk one day could become a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I just really need to go near more gamma radiation. That's my only problem. So far, I've not gone near any, which is a real letdown. I mean, there's zero chance of me ever becoming a Hulk. With that,
your laptop is so old that it's probably made out of pure radiation that was imported from Ukraine in 1970s.
That's true. Yeah, it's mostly made up of asbestos and radiation.
If anything, your superpower is the fact that you're still alive, despite
Yeah.
having lived in Wisbech.
There's 0 breathing irregularities, and that's my superpower.
Yeah, if I could have one superpower, I would like it to be some sort of regenerative thing that stops me from aging. Like, as far as I know, like in science terms, we're not actually that far away from getting that. Like, it's quite the leap from what we have now to actually being able to achieve, you know, maybe not immortality, but age longevity and stuff. But like, we'll probably be able to do it in our lifetime to at least, at the very least, to keep someone's mind really active at the age of like 120. They could still have the mind of like a 45-year-old or something. There's like some drugs that exist that they're testing on mice and stuff, and I love how scientifically I talk when I talk about these issues. But yeah, like, basically in the future we'll be able to regenerate things in your brain. What are they called?
Why would you want that though?
My deepest fear is losing control of my mind.
I think I mean, for me, but I don't know what other people think, but like dementia is like horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think the losing that part of your brain and not remembering is just like terrifying, isn't it? Like, to be like, I'm for me anyway. Like, I'm not too fussed about like sharks. Like, I'm happy to go in the ocean, but like, dementia scares me. So yeah.
But like, I mean, I've not really met many people with dementia, but like, from videos online and so on, I've seen the people with it don't seem that alarmed because like they don't realize they're losing their memory. So I think like from an outsider's perspective, it seems scary, but I mean,
yeah, that's true. Like, I don't know. I guess I just don't like the idea of having such a disconnect with the self, right? Because that is ultimately all that you actually are. And like, for all you know, you're in a straitjacket shouting all of this into a mirror right now. But like, I don't know, like, just having agency of the self, that to me is like the most important thing. And I just am really disturbed and unsettled at the thought of, even though like your thoughts literally control you, like you have no control over your own thoughts, and everybody listening, like, sorry, but you don't actually control any of your own thoughts. But still, I just don't like the idea of me thinking things were completely different than they are. I don't know. It's a deeply rooted fear. It's a strange thing, like reconciling the fact that I wish I was dead, combining it with the fact that I also want to be alive forever. But there you go. That's
why do you dissociate your thoughts from yourself?
Well, like,
Because is it not the same thing? Would you say?
I don't know. I feel like.
Like, I feel like the last thing I want in life is to be 100. Like, if you see people who are 80, like, they look like they don't want to be alive. So, I mean, personally speaking, I don't know, the thought of living whilst old, like, just seems terrible. But, I mean, I get your point in the sense that, like, it probably will be possible. Like, in Japan now, they sell more adult nappies than baby nappies, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, isn't, like, the population of Britain is growing at a rate where there's, like, going to be literally way more pensioners than any other age demographic combined in, like...
Yeah, it's... The aging population is... It's quite the worry. But, like, so I just don't... people say they want to live till they're, like, 150, but personally, if I make it... I mean, I don't deserve to make it to 50, to be honest, with my health, so...
Oh, no, same. I will be out of here in the next 4 years. But I guess when I think about this, like, I'm doing it with the caveat of the knowledge that there will be a future where having a healthy brain is all that matters over having a healthy body, because we're going to be at a stage where we can upload our consciousness to some form of, like, an internet type thing where you experience everything in virtual reality as opposed to actual reality. So as long as I have a healthy mind that can experience VR, I can be whatever I want to be. That's totally fine. I mean, I don't want to have to fucking walk around with a walking stick or, like, drive around on one of those scooter things or any of that. I'd definitely rather be dead than do that. But as long as I can think and, live in a world where being able to think is enough of a reward, because of what allows that to happen, then I'm totally down for that, I guess.
I will just say that, talking about superpowers and superheroes, I'm already kind of a superhero because Bruce Banner he's a superhero, and in his bio on the website Wikipedia, it says Bruce Banner, a physically weak, socially withdrawn, and emotionally reserved. So, yeah.
You are all of those things.
It's true, yeah. So it's only a matter of time.
You could probably beat me in an arm wrestling match, though.
Ugh, I mean, what, from here?
In the future, maybe.
Yeah, maybe in the future. Yeah. I mean, that shouldn't really be too hard to do, right? You're just going to be testing people's strength against each other. There's got to be a way to upload that pretty easily.
I love how you could completely... They should be able to do that, like... But, I mean, like, you get so many questions, like, especially from my family. They think, like, doing a biology degree means you know everything. So they're like, could we make dinosaurs? And I don't know anything. But, like, literally, I can't think of anything that isn't possible these days. Like, the rate things are going, like, I'm not sure how many people listening to this podcast are aware of, like, what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink. But, yeah, I wouldn't discredit anything. Like, even making dinosaurs, like, yeah, I'd say it's possible.
Wait, there is a person alive in the world right now that has eaten woolly mammoth. Like, that alone is fucked up. Yeah. There was, he was, I'm pretty sure he's still alive. If he's not still alive, I apologize, and he died in the last 5 years, and rest in peace, that guy. But I read about him. He was exploring the Arctic, I think, or probably the Antarctic, or one of them anyway, and he got, like, trapped in some fucking cave or some shit, and there was, like, a woolly mammoth that got perfectly preserved by, being frozen for so long, and he was able to dig it out and cook it, and he said that it tasted like really, really, really out-of-date steak, which is literally what it was, so that would be why. But
imagine just shock on his face when he found that out.
I know. Imagine eating a woolly mammoth. That's some shit. I mean, imagine seeing a woolly mammoth and being like, "Well, thank God you're here. I'm starving." But yeah, it's. I mean, I guess because you study biology, like, people think that you have a superpower. Like, you have a knowledge that is respected so much, like, it just goes beyond what your average person, like, knows or understands about the universe and stuff. So you probably know some, like, serious shit about stuff that we have no idea. I mean, for example, the whole thing about turtles with their magnetic GPS in their shell, or the fact that sharks see in pure computer code, I think it was that you said. Those...
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That's pretty fucked up. But as a biologist, tell me this. Why am I sad all the time? Anyway, I wanted to talk about ants because they're fucking amazing. Like, in terms of their, like, pound for pound strength, like, if they were a human, they would be able to lift up a speedboat. Like, that's how strong they are. And it's, like, nothing to them. Like, they can just do that with, like, their fucking antlers or whatever. And they put it on their back. But, like, one ant by itself is, like, an idiot. Like, if you had one ant in a room and you were talking to it, it would be like having a conversation with Wayne Rooney. Like, just no light behind their eyes, nothing going on. But when you have a bunch of them in a row, they're just, like, collectively genius. And they create, like, these transatlantic highways in their homes and stuff, and they have, like, traffic systems, and they have, like, delegation of work, and they have, like, hierarchical structures and stuff like that. And it's just insane learning about ants and how, like, they literally do have the power to take over the world. Like, that's not just a thing that people say. Like, for every one human alive today, there are 10 million ants. So, don't fuck with the ants. They'll really fuck you up. But just as a species, they're phenomenal.
And as is the movie Ants, is that realistic? Would Woody Allen really be friends with Sylvester Stallone? That's what I'm really asking.
No, because Sylvester Stallone isn't an underage girl that's related to him. Boom!
That probably over everyone's head who's never seen the movie Ants.
Seriously though, fuck Woody Allen though. Like, that dude is like not only a pedophile, but also like an incest pedophile, and like that's gotta be like the worst thing ever. And like he's still allowed direct movies. Like, what the hell? Him and Roman Polanski should like be like, they should be charged for their crimes. That's what I think. As
the criminals.
Yeah, I mean they are
Have you
literally
guys-
criminals.
Have you guys seen how like ants like survive flooding?
No, actually. Oh,
Do they build tiny boats?
No, they actually they can do that. They build life rafts, but it's out of their own bodies.
holy shit!
So what they do is they get like their jaws and their legs and just they use their body to sort of hold each other. It's like same a community of ants, and they'll hold each other. So when a flood or whatever happens, they stick together, and that's how their communities stay intact.
You know what's so amazing to me, right? Is that I could say at the very end of this podcast, surprise, we recorded this on April 1st. None of this shit actually is real. And people would be like, I was wondering. Because none of that seems realistic.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is that, like, when they found the ants doing the same thing again, and I think it's quite cruel because I think what they did was essentially just continuously flood these ants and just causing them stress.
Oh,
But
Jesus
the ants take they go to their, like, original position. So it's like they sort of have a hierarchy structure of when a flood happens, and if one is to die, it's
Like a fire
a certain
escape plan.
Yeah, genuinely. It's like everyone knows their position and they get in and they sort of look.
The safety warden puts on his high-vis jacket, and
Blows his whistle.
they all get outside, and it's like, fuck it, this is a drill, I have work to do. That's crazy, though. I can't even imagine how does that happen in the movie Ants with a Z on the end, Loosmore? Or pop culture analyst?
I can't remember really. It must do. I mean, I know there's a point where like they float down a river on a leaf, which
It's practical.
I mean, they could just float down on a river with each other. No, I mean,
I saw that movie in the cinema, and the whole time I was thinking, even as a 9-year-old or whatever I was like, this is just not as good as A Bug's Life. It doesn't have any of the charm or anything. And also, as a 9-year-old kid, I'm pretty sure that Woody Allen wants to touch me. So
you saw that time.
Yeah, through the ant CGI, I was like, yep. No, for real though, they're just an incredible species, and I would recommend that everyone go and look at the show there's like a documentary on you. If you type in ant documentary, I don't know how many of them there could be, but they got like some cement and like funneled it into an ant hole. So eventually what they did was fill the entire thing up with cement, and then they dug around the ant hole, and so you get to see what it actually looks like as it goes down. And it's called an ant hill, not an ant hole. Fun fact that I just remembered as I was talking. So you can actually see what it looks like. It's like as a concrete structure, and it's like a metropolis that they create for themselves, and they all live in their own like little systems and social structures and stuff. And they have actual visible social structures, and like they have wars with each other and stuff, and like it's just fucking crazy. Like, you know?
I'm not sure if it's ants or like another type of ant or like an insect or whatever, but like going back to like how different animals like perceive their environment, they use the sky to sort of as a map. So like the position. I mean, we think they do this. Like it's hard to like ask an ant like, is this what you're doing? But I mean,
Yeah, they never respond.
yeah, they're the rudest creatures you could ever work with. They're an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, and they never.
I
they
feel
always
like that
blue
about a
tick.
lot of animals.
Yeah,
They're just
same.
ignorant, I think.
But yeah, like
it's true.
we think they have like sort of a photographic memory of the sky and that's how they get around places and remember where they are because of the position of the sun, the moon, and everything.
I would say
Which is,
that I
again-
have a photographic memory of the sky, to be fair. Like, if I'm picturing it right now, I don't even have to open my curtains. I'm like, it's blue and there might be a couple of clouds up there.
Blue and a bit of clouds in Ireland.
It's late April. We got some... Hold on, I'll open the curtains. I mean, there's not a cloud in the sky.
Okay, impressive.
It's freezing outside, but there is not a cloud in the sky, which is perfect weather for Jack Frost to come around and put frost on the ground. I don't know what he does. Jack Frost to come around and steal from the church box.
Yeah, I think he was Jesus' nemesis, wasn't he?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
He is villain numero uno in a book I like to call the Bible.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Are we done on ants? Anyone have anything else to add about ants?
No, I mean, other than just, see Bugs Life and Ants. They're both good animated movies from the 90s.
I don't think Ants is good at all.
I did enjoy it. I haven't seen it as an adult. I have seen Bugs Life, though, and that is genuinely still good.
I would say just watch A Bug's Life.
Yeah, I mean, that does cover more of the bug and other, like, ants, and, whereas the ants just covers ants. So if you do want more than just ants, watch Bugs Life.
There's a movie called Them. It's Them, ! I believe it's from 1962. And it's black and white, and it's about, I don't know, probably radiation, because it's always radiation. And basically ants become gigantic, and the American military has to fight them, and they start taking over a city. And if you have Sky Movies, it's on TCM sometimes during the day, if that's still a channel. I'm going off information that was true 15 years
From
ago.
1962.
Yeah, TCM is the classical... what's it?
Yeah, it's Turner Classic Movies.
Turner
isn't it?
Classic
That's what
Movies,
it is.
that's it, yeah. And Them, ! Is absolutely a classic movie. But yeah, just for the people who... if anyone's wondering, because like I talk about like these kind of afternoon matinee movies a lot. I used to watch like movies from the 50s and 60s all the time as a kid. I never saw, Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King or any Disney movie. I was raised on whatever was on the TV at the time, which for some reason was always old movies about radioactive ants. But you got to prepare for when they inevitably come and kill us all. So. And that's science right there. So,
Yeah.
I can back that up, yeah.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go. Although this does sound like an Onion headline. Sea cucumbers can shapeshift by essentially liquefying their bodies to squeeze through small gaps.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't even know sea cucumbers were an animal, let alone like not a vegetable that lives in the sea. Whatever.
Do you say that vegetables live in places?
I mean, this is just. The whole sentence is really just blowing my mind. But I mean, when you have the words shapeshift, sea cucumbers, and liquefying just in one sentence, that's just amazing.
Isn't it weird that the first thing that came to my head was Donald Trump?
I mean, do you want? I can send you the picture, and weirdly, it looks like Donald Trump.
Okay, send me it. Send it this way. I gotta have a look. You do not sound like a man who's capable of sending a picture right now. That's not in the affirmative. Like a mouse can squeeze through a keyhole.
What?
No way.
Yeah, they liquefy their... I don't know what they do. They have a really bendy structure of, like, they... Yeah, they can...
That's crazy. I've never heard of that.
Hold on, that might not be true. I'm gonna have to Google that. My art teacher told me that when I was 11. So,
Through a keyhole?
Can a mouse squeeze... This is live research, if you're ever wondering how to research stuff. There's a website I like to call Google. Can a mouse squeeze through a keyhole? Jesus, doesn't seem like they can. A mouse can fit through a hole the diameter of a biro. Which is even smaller than a fucking... Whoa, holy shit, there's a video of a mouse squeezing through a cage. Yeah, they can squeeze through a keyhole. Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, but how big is the gap between the cage?
About the size of a keyhole. Oh my god!
Seriously?
He goes through like the smallest part of it too.
What the fuck?
That shit cray. I used to have 2 pet mice. Come at me, animal rights activists.
Did they ever escape through a keyhole?
Oh my god, it actually is Donald
It
Trump.
does look like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I think it's because it has so many eyes.
Yeah.
I think that's the exact representation of the amount of brain cells he has.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Jeez, it looks kind of... I don't know, does it look disgusting or delicious? I can't tell
I
if...
would-
It kind of looks like one of those cakes that have like Smarties on the top. That you
Yeah.
get, like, yeah.
Do I feel sick to my stomach or starving? I can't tell.
Yeah.
So that's alive, I take it.
That's a thing, yeah, and it can apparently shapeshift by liquefying their body so it can, like, move about and stuff.
Just sticking with shapeshifting for a moment, everyone knows about the chameleon, which is a reptile that can, like, it changes color based on its surroundings.
Would be amazing if me and Ali were like, wait.
Yeah.
Like before when he mentioned like the thing about sharks, we were like, what? And we were like, chameleons? What? No? Yeah.
You mean that song, Karma Chameleon? That's a song, dude. That's not a real
Yeah.
one. That's such a bad song that's going to be in my head for the rest of the night. So, like, the chameleon is actually not that impressive. I mean, like, I've been in a pet shop and seen them, and, like, sure, they change color, and that's great, but, I mean, I can still see them and know that they're there. However, there's a better chameleon called the mimic octopus.
Yes.
And it is a sea creature with so many... Look, you all know what an octopus is. Mimic octopus is one of those, and it, like, changes to fucking anything. It changes into, like... It's like so smart. It knows which fish are the predators, and it basically just changes into them. And you should just go and, like, just Google mimic octopus and look at the YouTube videos of it and how it changes into other stuff. And it's, like, frightening that an animal can do this shit. Like, it is actually mind blowing.
It's amazing that it knows. I think the more impressive than changing its skin or camouflage is the fact that it knows what each predator goes after.
Yeah.
Because its brain process has to be like, okay, this has gone after this, so when this chases me, I turn into... Like, that's just...
They are
I don't
notoriously intelligent creatures, aren't they?
I have not studied mimic octopuses.
Wow, and you
But
call
I mean-
yourself
but
a biologist.
But
I
mean,
believe
if
it's octopi.
I mean, if they can do that, then...
Yeah, they're known for being really clever. Take it from me.
I mean, isn't it just like people who learn how to be funny to avoid getting beaten up? Isn't that kind of the same thing? Like a mimic octopus is basically just mimicking other things so it doesn't get beaten up by like better animals of the sea, isn't that?
Yeah, that's that whole that's the survival of the fittest thing, right? It's like survival of the fittest doesn't mean that like the one that has the highest level of physical fitness. It's the word fit is because of how it fits into its environment.
Yeah.
And it's that whole like this is like a really crass thing to say, and I understand that like people will be mad or whatever, but like, you know the way a bully knows which person it can get away with bullying? Yeah. Like they know which ones are like awkward enough that they won't stand
They
up
zone in on the weakest of the bunch, basically.
I'm not trying to say bully victims are weak, but rather a bully's perception of which person that they'll get away with picking on, basically. Like, that's like some sort of evolutionary like talent that's it's really hard to phrase that without being like people who get bullied are just a flashing light on a radar of weakness.
Weak is a harsh term.
Yeah,
but it's almost like the person is don't always speak up for themselves, and that's not to do with weakness. That's to do with
it's like character traits. It's just like the reason people don't sit next to me on the bus is because I give them a look that says, if you do this, I will literally break both of your legs. So find
You're not
another
inviting someone to sit next to you. That doesn't mean to say, you know, that you're an angry person who wants to, when you are, but...
No, that just happens to be true as well. That's not implied by this, though.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's just an aside thing. But yeah, it's that basically is like survival of the fittest and how well you fit into your environment. Now I will counter my example of the bully thing, in spite of the fact that it's a really good example that everyone can relate to. But you know, if you bully someone in school, you will literally get beaten up, or you're just gonna have a bad rest of your life, or whatever, because you are subhuman scum. So I think that covers everything nicely. I feel like the terms and conditions on this show just get bigger and bigger every week, and I have to keep adding stuff. So anyway, octopuses, good, bullies, bad. But yeah, how creatures fit into their environment, like, truly is fascinating, and it should be. I think they should be praised for their efforts. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird that so many creatures and animals share so many, like, we regard them as human characteristics, but they're not. They're living characteristics. They're like, a fucking flower does what it takes to survive. You know what I mean? A bee does it. Like, we do it as well. Like, we always regard them as, like, human characteristics, but they're not. They're just living things. Do all of those things to survive, you know.
It's great when you see a dog and it has like a physical portrayal of like shame, like it knows it's done something bad, and it feels like really bad about it. Like or like one of my favorite things in the world is watching videos of cats falling into swimming pools. And the way they get out, and they're just like, "Oh, I meant that. Whoa, that was just a trick that I did." Like, they're so like visibly put off by it. Like, it gets in the way of their sort of stoic sensibilities that they have. Yeah. It's funny how you can see those traits in creatures and stuff like that. So, is it my? No, I did the octopus. Ali, hit us up with another fucked up animal thing. That's the topic, right?
So dolphins. Have you guys ever heard of the mirror test?
Is that the thing about dolphins and wolves? Because I researched the shit out of that before I came on.
No. So the mirror test is basically like it's like a human set
centipede
test.
Centipede?
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Wow, that's fucked up.
It's basically how we, like humans, determine whether an animal is intelligent or not, by setting our own intelligence sort of spectrum on animals, and it's basically whether animals can recognize themselves. So I'm not sure if you've seen the videos of like chimps or apes or whatever just seeing themselves in the mirror and being like, "Oh my god, that's me. This is amazing."
Oh, I've seen a video where they put like a mirror in a jungle. And and they recorded like each animal's reaction to it and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty good.
And I was talking to a friend about this, and he was like, "But that's not impressive at all." And like the fact that an animal, so we'd look at it as something, oh, that's not impressive at all for an animal to recognize a mirror or recognize their own body shape. But it's the fact that they're not in an environment where they've seen a mirror before, so to instantly sort of recognize this is me instead of this is someone else just shows like an amazing I don't even know how to put it. It's just a sense of awareness that this wasn't made by me. So like for a dolphin to be like, yeah, this is a mirror and this is showing me what I look like, and that was made by that human. Even though I've never seen this before, I know exactly what it does, which is just crazy.
Yeah, it is also weird that I still get surprised by my own shadow, and animals know.
Exactly.
You know.
You ever do that thing where like you look in the mirror and just look directly into your eyes, and then keep doing that for like 10 minutes until you
you just see fire.
Yeah, and the voices in your head start telling you to just burn this whole thing down. No, but like if you. Look, I don't like this is like this is a whole another plane of consciousness here I'm about to describe. But if you look in the mirror at yourself for like 10 minutes, you'll just get this really palpable fright feeling in your stomach when you realize that is what you are. Like that like, I don't know. I'm sure
Just
there's-
a wave of disappointment just comes through. Like, oh, okay, this is me.
It's not even.
Yeah.
It's not like disappointment. It's like sudden awareness that you exist, or I don't know, that you've been looking at a manifestation of your being. Like, you're looking at like a physical representation of the fact that you are a thing. Because like, how often do you? I'm saying this generally. I do it like every second of every day. But how often do you just think like, Jesus, I am on a rock that's hurtling through space, and I just happened into this existence, and I exist in this skin, and it's really weird. Like, does anyone else like feel that sense of like just Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this whole thing all about? Or is that just me?
I think, I mean, more so really on the animal basis, that we live on a planet, with all these other fucking creatures, you know what I mean? And then we watch these programs like Pokemon and fucking stuff like that. We're like, oh, look at all these cool, and we're like, yeah, but there's things like fucking electric eels that we live on the same planet as, and that's not cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is fucking amazing.
If you
I don't think
combine
we-
an electric eel and a cat, like, that's a Pikachu. Just,
Yeah.
that's how close we are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is weird, like, when you sort of, like, think about, like, what is the real point of,
Being alive.
like, yeah, like, all the problems we've kind of, like, self-made, you know what I mean? Like, you know, a million years ago, there was no sort of, like, politics about, you know, civil rights or whatever. Like, they didn't exist because there was nothing.
So what you're saying is we
literally.
should go back to those days.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, just more, you know, I just think we should get along more, really.
I feel sorry for, like, you hear astronauts when they come back from space talking about how it's amazing that we live on this rock that travels like thousands of miles an hour, and how amazing the universe is and everything. And then they're sort of like accustomed to this constant awe of the universe, and they have to come back down and read like Katie Hopkins articles and be like, for fuck's sake, is this really what we're about? Like, come on.
I actually get that feeling every time I scroll through my Twitter feed now. Like, every fucking thing is a point of contention for one group or another, and it's like nobody can just have an opinion that's not like politicized or like fucking ridiculed or whatever. Like, I saw the other day, like, Bernie Sanders said, there's not a single state in America where you can be earning minimum wage and live in a one-bedroom apartment. This is insane. And, like, Ben Shapiro, who I actually really respect, even though, like, I disagree with him on, like, a lot of stuff. But I still really like him and I follow him. And he was like, oh, that's why there's shared accommodation or living at home or whatever. And it's like the fact that your political leanings lead you to read a sentence like that, that's just a sentence, it's just a fact, and think, yeah, well, here's why that's fine, instead of like thinking of a solution for it, or like trying to empathize.
Yeah.
Like, it's all just a big pile of fuck. And it's like, I don't know, like, I have like a TV beside my computer monitor, and it's hooked up to my other computer, and it's the Carlsberg advert of the guy sitting on the moon with a beer looking at Earth, and it's my background because I look at it and just think, like, that's what it would be like if you were on the moon with a beer. I don't think that you would read your Twitter feed and feel like actual anxiety or like actual frustration when you boil it down to the fact that we're just a bunch of pricks on a rock in space.
I do think it is sad that, like, we've had this divide now where a guy can't read a tweet and his first, like, thought isn't, wow, that's crazy, we should do something about that. But instead his first thought is, that's disgusting, I need to tell this idiot why he's wrong. Like,
or just like he is from a different political persuasion than me, therefore I disagree. Like, it's that thing, right, where there is no such thing as a liberal who doesn't believe in global warming. Like, you have to be a Republican to not believe in global warming, right? Like, why is that? I just don't get why. How can something like that be politicized? Like, how can science, which is essentially just a bunch of facts, or rather understandings or research, or even if it's not theories, like it's like can we not just let that be the thing? Why is it that like 97% of scientists are like, yeah, the Earth is warming and humans are having a definite impact on it? And then like, why do right-wing Republican or like right-wing politicians think they can be like, well, that's not true? It's like, no, you don't get to say that just because you like believe in God or whatever. Like, fuck off. It's just I don't know.
The thing is, we've not quite got to a point yet where we've separated science from religion. That is weird because you almost had this thing where like people think religion has been around a lot longer than science, or religious people think religion has been around, but they've been around as long as each other. Like science has been around forever. Like I just don't understand. Yeah, but you can't you can't ignore facts. Like it is a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
Ricky Gervais made a really good point, and he said that if you like destroyed all religious books, they would never come back. Whereas if you destroyed all of scientific books, they would come back because we can study them again and we'll regain that knowledge. And I don't know, like the whole point of like global warming and so on, like people only like I don't understand how. I mean, I'm not really that knowledgeable on American politics, but like I'm pretty sure like the American government gives the budget for NASA. So to disagree with like something you give money to, like I just don't understand how you can be like, we'll give you this much money, can you please study more? But we disagree with literally nearly everything. Like, what is the point? Like, why are you giving them money then? Like, if you really so passionately believe, like, why are you giving them $20 billion? It's just.
I think NASA is actually independent, but I get your point.
No, they got Trump has just announced some funding thing to NASA, did he not? In the last couple of days.
I thought it was an independent. Oh, it might. I don't know.
It's an independent agency, but it's like branched from the government.
In the movie Interstellar, they are not government funded.
Yeah,
I mean, there we go.
Maybe that's what I'm getting it from.
Well, I mean, NASA don't have any scientists that aren't American, isn't that true?
Jesus, I can't tell you.
Because that's like why Tim Peake, for instance, like he's with the ESA space agency. So I'm pretty sure NASA is American. Like it's an independent agency, but they're funded mainly by the American government.
I think there is a British scientist working for NASA that I think I heard her being interviewed like a few months ago about those exoplanets that were found. You know, the new planets that they found like a while ago.
Yeah.
I've just found out that you don't have to be American, but you have to be an American citizen to be a NASA employee because you're a civil servant of the federal government.
Ah, okay. So
they're civil servants.
And wow. So that's pretty damn cool. Go NASA, am I right?
Yeah.
I would like to take the conversation to the next logical branch off from that, and talk about mountain goats. Because they're fucking amazing, right? Like, I was watching The Simpsons when I was younger. I'm sure some of you have heard of it. It's a cartoon. And there's an episode where Homer becomes Mr. Plow. And there's a great line in it where he's like, this truck is as sure-footed as a mountain goat. And anyway, I always heard that and thought, yeah, that's a funny thing. And then I decided to Google mountain goats today because I knew I was recording this podcast and I had to come up with animals that had superpowers. And mountain goats treat like actual cliffs that are like at a 90-degree angle. They treat it like it's just a fucking staircase. It's mental. Their ability to walk around on like ridiculous surfaces is just unparalleled by anything else. And it doesn't make any sense because like they're the same, they're a four-legged animal. They're like a dog or a horse or whatever. But for some bizarre reason, they're just able to walk along the jaggiest, rockiest, steepest thing ever.
Yeah.
And
I mean, do we know how many die a year attempting them, though? Like, attempting, like, really, like, steep, like...
with absolutely no knowledge or research of that whatsoever, my estimate would be 0.
And that is a fact.
I mean, that's impressive, isn't it? That's really good.
I would have heard of it if they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellie's in constant communication with the mountain goats.
That's true. They're my favorite.
Wasn't there a
band.
segment on them on Planet Earth?
Ooh.
Wow.
I only have the Frozen Planet one, so
I recall seeing, I don't know, but yeah, they're pretty damn impressive. I mean, I'm terrified of heights. I mean, I wouldn't say I have a phobia of heights, but I could not. I give credit to the mountain goats because
I mean, they have 0 like they don't care whether they fall or not, do they? Really? Like they don't.
Yeah, they have 0 fucks to give, genuinely.
Yeah.
and
I
they
mean, it is weird that like normal goats are just on the ground. Like, what are these idiots doing? Like, just be on the ground.
How
And
the
then-
fuck did they evolve? Yeah, how did that happen?
mountain goats are like, I'm on a mountain, motherfucker. Yeah, it is. It's very strange. Like, I'm looking at lots of them right now, and the thing is, they all differ in looks. Like, there's a lot of mountain goats that look like really weird, fucking reindeer hybrid type things. So that's weird. But then there's other ones that just look like normal goats. You know? So, I think if we could get some kind of goat expert on the podcast to explain what the fuck is going on there, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's a 2-hour podcast.
Oh,
right
for
there.
sure. Guarantee you we could do it. Could definitely get a 2-hour podcast out of that. What if
I don't know why we're not harnessing like the power of like the mountain goat in some like really study. I'm sure they must be really studying them, but like
I don't know why we're not harnessing the spirit of the mountain goat.
yeah.
Let's get some voodoo experts in on that, because that's
Because I mean it is true. Like a lot of human beings suffer from a height, like they don't like heights.
A lot of human beings suffer from
like
death.
going up the stairs, to be honest. Like I mean, but yeah, I mean, I do worry about falling down the stairs. Like, I not worry about it like, daily, but sometimes if I really think about going down the stairs, I'll start to
severe
think, like,
anxiety, like every
yeah,
time.
like the anxiety of holy fuck, like what if I fall here and like just that's it. Like you fall down the stairs, there's a chance, bang, your head gone. That's it. Like, well, that mountain goat doesn't even fucking care. It doesn't have to like stairs aren't even a thing for him. He's gone above stairs. He's gone to like steep fucking walls and shit. Like this
like
is unbelievable.
15. I mean, this is a number just like I want to say 10,000 feet or something. Like they're really, really high up. So yeah. I don't know how they do it. Credit to the mountain goats, as I said.
Yeah. Respect.
Does anyone else get that thing where it's like you're not actually afraid of falling from the height, you're afraid that you'll jump?
Yeah,
No,
I do have that sometimes. Like, what if I just leapt now? Like, my brain just decided to be like, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also get it when, like, I have a gun in my hand. I'm like, I could kill every single one of you right now. I don't own a gun.
I do have that fear, like, when I go over, like, a drain, and I have my phone in my hand, like, what if I just drop my phone right now, and it goes in the drain? And then I realize that, like, no, like, a normal person doesn't just drop their phone. Like, I've got a hold of my phone in my hand, like, I'm on it, like, I'm texting, but, like, every time I go over a drain, I'm like, oh, be sure to really hold on to it here, because this, you know what I mean?
What do you, Ali, how old are you, actually? You're, like, a few years younger than me, right?
I'm 18.
Yeah, so many years younger than me.
Yeah, you're just 3 years younger than me, so that's...
Lou Smart, you're my dad. Fucking hell, you're 18, that's ridiculous. Woody Allen would like to have a word with you. No, but I was gonna ask you
Ali's not his daughter, so it's okay.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you what you think about, like, the, like, literal, like, symbiotic relationship that humans have developed with their phones. But if you're 18, you've probably never lived in a world where that wasn't a thing, right? So you might not even know that this is not normal.
Do you remember VHSs or no?
No, yeah, I do. I remember VHS. Yeah, I'm not that.
Oh,
young.
okay. Sorry.
I remember VHSs.
Yeah, well, they're still in Wisbech. They haven't even got, like, mini discs. Yeah. Yeah, it's the
I've still got a vast collection of VHSs. Yeah.
When a new song comes out, Loosemore has to download it off LimeWire and put it on his mini disc player, and it takes him 2 days.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but I do wonder about the impact that because like you were saying, Loosemore, that you walk past the drain and like you feel like you have to hold on to your phone tire. Like I can't go anywhere without my phone. Like
Yeah.
I don't even depend on my phone for a lot. I really just depend on it so that I can look at my Twitter timeline and feel like I need to die. But other than that, like I get nothing from owning a phone, but I still have to carry it with me everywhere I go, because what if I get in an argument with someone on a bus and I know I'm right and I have no way of proving it? That's just...
Okay, now this I can actually contribute to, because I went a whole month without any internet. About 2 years ago, I went to Ghana and Togo, and I just had no internet for a whole month. And at first, like, I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna like reply to Facebook comments and so on? And
but like, use your mind.
Yeah. But like once you sort of accept that you don't have your phone, it genuinely makes. This sounds like such a cliche, and someone like, I don't know, would probably say, but it's so much more relaxing. Like you genuinely feel like a sense of calm that you don't have to reply to anyone. That's because I hate people, but you know.
I also hate them, but also I feel like that's why I need to constantly be observing them and commenting on them.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
The Earth is flat.
It is
you haven't
flat,
looked into it. That's a fake 6 moon landings. Yeah, no, I know. But
I think nope, that thought is completely gone. You can speak now.
It's come to the point we've come to the point where, I mean, I don't know what phones you have, but like my iPhone has night shift. Like humans use their phones so much now that like companies have had to like alter the screen brightness and make it more yellow because of like the damage, like I think it's blue light that can cause to the retina, which is just like we've come to the point where companies have to intervene and be like, okay, you're going on your phone too much, we're gonna alter the screen like color so it makes it easier for your eye.
It's not only the like physical damage it does to your retina, right? Which is really substantial, by the way. And for anyone listening who's concerned about that, download a desktop app to your computer called Flux. It's f.lux. I have it on like every computer I've ever owned since like 2009 because I get migraines as a result of the like screen brightness and stuff. So just download that app and your screen will be orange at nighttime, and you won't notice it. Like you'll notice it the first day and you'll be like, that's weird, but then from then you'll adjust to it. And what it does is it stops the blue light and it helps you sleep better, and like it genuinely does. The blue light doesn't just do damage to your retina, but overexposure to blue in general, it reduces the amount of the amount of melatonin that your brain produces. So like it literally disrupts your ability to sleep. Like your brain stops producing melatonin based on overexposure to blue. And I assume that's because the sky is blue, so it's daytime when it's blue. I don't know, something to do with that probably. But yeah, it's really, really bad to be looking at screens all the time. Like it just is doing untold damage to us, and we're kind of just living in a big technological experiment right now. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was just talking to my grandma today, and my cousin's son, that makes him my second cousin, something.
Makes him your son, I think.
Yes, no, I'm not Woody Allen. This is way too many Woody Allen references.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, he might have Asperger's or something like that. But apparently he never touches a pen or a pencil. Like he doesn't do any of that stuff. But he knows how to perfectly work an iPad. Like he doesn't know colors. Like he can say, like if you say to him, what color is that? He'll tell you what color it is, but he won't know what it is on a pencil or something like that. He won't be able to draw it. And it's just, to me, like that's kind of like the result we're going in. Like children are becoming far more, I don't know, like maybe reserved because they're just more likely to go on an iPad and play I don't know what a child does on an iPad. Like play games or whatever. They're not googling Logan anyway.
Look at porn.
Yeah, well, it's porn, isn't it? Yeah.
From the age of 5, they're straight on Pornhub. It's crazy. Yeah, okay, that's not true.
Do you think that's a bad thing though? Like
I don't know. I mean, I can only
because they're going to live. Yeah.
I mean, my child, I didn't own a phone until I was into my teens. I mean, that's just because of the nature.
They didn't exist.
Yeah, not really, no. I mean, we had Nokia 3210s when I was
That's the greatest phone of all time.
Yeah. But yeah, up until that point, I had a childhood where I still went outside and pretended to be a cowboy or or an Indian because I was slightly tan. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just I don't know. But nowadays,
I don't know. I was a very introverted kid. I had phases of being immensely extroverted and I don't know, interests in sports and stuff. But for the most part, I would come home from school and watch The Simpsons. I remember my routine was from age I think 9 onwards. Well, no, more 11, I guess. I would come home from school and then at fucking I don't know 5 o'clock it's 2 episodes of Friends on E4. Then 6 o'clock it's The Simpsons on RTE2. Then 6:30 is Home and Away, which is the greatest soap opera of all time. Then at 7 you flip over to Sky One for 2 episodes of The Simpsons. And then at 8 o'clock I think it gets a little bit fuzzy. There's a lot of wrestling in there. I don't know. But I used to watch Fear Factor all the time and stuff. But that was my childhood was largely TV. And I don't really know a lot of children because A, I'm terrified of them, and B, they're just not really good at conversation. But my girlfriend has a niece who I've babysitted her a few times and stuff, and it is unbelievable to me the power of TV, specifically cartoons, and the way that children are attracted to the color schemes and stuff. And this kid, she'll watch hours and hours and hours of Peppa Pig, and she's a really bright kid, so I'll preface it with that. But I'm pretty sure she has no clue what's going on in the storylines or who any of the characters are or whatever. She's just staring at the colors and the way they move and stuff. I think I don't know, that's got a real a cerebral effect on their attention levels and stuff. It's I don't know, it's crazy to me. It just seemed so surreal to watch. It was like a moth to a flame. Just I must look at this, the bright colors.
It is kind of like a brainwashing thing. Almost totally. Like a parenting technique of be we don't know what to do with them. Stick them in front of the television. They'll be brainwashed for 3 hours. They'll be fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you. I still, as a kid, played video games a lot and watched a lot of TV. But whenever the sun was out, I would go outside.
You'd go to the shop and buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Every morning. Yeah. 20p for the sun back then it was. Yeah.
And you'd still have change to get the bus home. Good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because it was Wisbeach. We got the sun from the 1960s. So
Yeah.
we were still really old news.
The headlines all said Heil Hitler. It was really fucking weird. But... yeah, I don't know. I'd like to know more about it.
If someone came up to you, say if Elon Musk came up to you and he was I was talking earlier about he's working on Neuralink, and he was would you like to be one of the first people to live in a sort of virtual, would you be interested in living in a virtual reality?
Yeah, sign me up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What part of that appeals to you?
Everything about it. I think I spend 95% of my life just dreading the fact that I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in the world, or in the universe even. So if someone was hey, go live in this simulation, I'd be hell fucking yeah, because that's somewhere where I have a complete grasp on everything that's going on around me. I need that. I need to live in a video game.
See, I think that'd work if I didn't know that I was going to be living in virtual reality. So if you give a baby who'd never seen the outside world the VR, I think they'd have a great time. But if you give it to me now, like I know that's not reality. So I think it take away the effect of like. So if I would say like in an avatar world, I'd be like, okay, this is really cool, but this is not like I know it's not reality. So
Well,
I
like,
don't know.
if you give a baby a pile of keys, they're fucking delighted with that. So, like, I think you set the bar too low with this. But I don't. There's something weirdly captivating about doing something that you are choosing to do. It's the freedom of choice of like. That's the reason why people play Farmville, even though like it's like that joke in The Simpsons where Marge is like, "Can you guys do some yard work?" And Bart and Lisa are like, "Hell no!" And then they go to the carnival and they're like, "I want to go on the yard work simulator," and they just go and do it. Like, that's a joke, but it's also a really astute observation. The fact that like there's these games like fucking Truck Simulator and stuff where you just drive a truck around Europe. It's like you can go and like you can take a week off work, rent a car, and you can like literally do that. Like,
Yeah.
like surely that would be way better, but it's not. It's so much more fun to play a thing doing a thing instead of actually doing a thing. And that's why I
Yeah.
think if I was thrown into a simulation or like some sort of VR, everything I do there would be complete freedom of choice. It would just be a lucid video game experience. Like, I think that is like the pinnacle of existence because you have no like mental responsibility to try and figure out what's going on around you. You don't have to provide any form of critical analysis, and you don't even have to have reactions to things in real time because it's fine. It's just a game. It's just stuff that's being thrown at you. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the world can't hurt you in a simulation.
I think the reason like people like enjoy it so much is more like the instant gratification they get from it. So like if I wanted to meet up with someone to like have a conversation, like I'd have to get the bus, meet them in town, like blah blah. Like it's a long process, and it's actually like well, I can just text them. Like it's more like people prefer that instant. Like you said earlier about the truck simulator driving through Europe, you can do that in real life, but people are like, oh, that's so long. I have to do this and this and this. Whereas like they can just log online and instantly sort of like transform into that world. And I think that's like what we were talking earlier, like the symbiotic relationship. Like people just so accustomed to like instant sort of gratification of a product.
Yeah, I'm willing to go along with that because like I've noticed lately, the last few months or so, I've become like really, really withdrawn to a point where I'm like genuinely questioning like why I don't really like to go outside that much anymore. And I feel like even like tonight, like I'm supposed to go meet my friend after we record this, but it's nearly 9:30, and like I have to be up for work so early and stuff. It's like I don't know. I have too many reasons to not go, and it's not that like it's a mate that I haven't seen in a long time, and like I love him and I really want to go and like have a good conversation and catch up with him, but like there's just too many reasons to not do that right now. But I feel like
Also,
Yeah.
I don't know you, but I kind of like plans. Just
sorry.
like just kind of like it's just a weird enjoyment itself where I get like because you kind of take charge of it. You're like, you know what? I'm not doing it. Like I'm not doing this thing that they want me to do.
You sound like
No.
your connection just like died, and you sounded like you were high as balls. And like none of what you said made any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I got none of that.
Only half of that is true.
Say some stuff, Loosemore. I think your connection is KO'd.
Hello.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, so is it still good?
Yeah, it's good.
No.
Yeah. So what did you
Okay.
say again? All I heard was like, I think so. Hands, because.
No, that's what I was saying. I was deliberately taking tiny pauses to throw you all off. You're like, ah.
It was a commentary on our ability to take in information.
Yeah. I was really going nuance with the whole thing.
Do you want to repeat it?
No, I just think more people nowadays just like. I mean, for me, I kind of like. Not I don't enjoy cancelling plans, but it's a thing where I'm just like I have other like I just don't want to, and then you just decide in yourself that you don't want to go out, and it's kind of like satisfying in a sociopath kind of way. Like you
know what it is? It's satisfying in a this is the right thing to do because I am a complete piece of shit kind of way. It's satisfying in the calling in sick to work way, where like even when you're literally sick and you cannot go to work, you still call in and you still put on a voice, and they're like, okay, get some rest, and you put the phone down, you turn around in your bed, and you just think to yourself, I'm a piece of shit. Yeah, I don't even deserve this job. Like it's like, but like part of you is like, this is great, I get to go to sleep, but the other part is like overriding dread and shame. It's like, yeah, it's weird.
I think that's just life in general.
What were you gonna say, Ali?
Would I be making like a sort of too much of a leap if I said that goes back to the instant gratification? Like when I make plans with someone, in my head I'm like, oh, that sounds great, like we'll go play paintball, whatever. Okay, but it comes to the day I'm like, oh my god, I actually have to like go through the effort of getting there and everything, and it's just like the idea seemed really nice, but the process doesn't.
Yeah, I think because I mean, for me, it's always like I gotta get up, and then I've gotta eat some food, and then I know when I come home I'll probably have a headache for some reason because I've been out all day and I probably haven't like I'm dehydrated. I've not drank enough water. For something, I'll have a headache. I'll hate myself because I've not enjoyed the day, even though it's been a nice day. And then just like, I might as well sleep some more, for fuck's sake, you know.
We are the fucking worst generation ever.
Yeah.
We can't do anything. It's like we're like if you took a monkey and like gave it like the perfect brain.
Yeah.
But like you made it hate itself for every single thing that it does, so it never gets to do any of the things that it wants to do. It's like, oh, I'll cure world peace. Oh, why did I decide to do this? I'm such a fucking idiot. I hate. And then it starts kicking itself in the head until it bleeds out on the floor, and that's basically our generation.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we're like simultaneously the best and the worst generation. Yeah. Like I can totally see in 10 years time like a person going, oh, I'd love to go on holiday. YouTube.com, travel vlogs. Oh, this is like a holiday. Like, people have just been, accustomed to, I don't know, like complete laziness. But yeah, again, there's people there that are just doing ridiculous things every single day.
It's like I'm thinking of going to New York. I know someone who lives there, and I was like saying to her like, yeah, I want to go on a pub crawl and I want to eat like ridiculously oversized portions of bar food and stuff, and she's like, no, let's go like see the sights and go to museums and shit, and I'm like, bitch, I can fucking Google all of that stuff. I can fucking look at a picture of the Statue of Liberty on Google, and that's the same fucking thing as being there. Like, I don't fucking need to experience it in person. Like, it makes no difference to my life if I see something in person or if I look at a picture of a thing. And I know that so many people are listening to this and going, wow, that guy just doesn't appreciate, like, blah. Like, I do. I understand, like, the beauty in just aesthetics of design and art and, like, architecture and stuff like that. I get it completely, but I just get the same fucking thing when I look at the thing. The only reason that I would go there would be so I could get a good Instagram picture for it. Like, do you understand how hard it is to have that as an actual opinion and not hate yourself for knowing that you're literally wrong, but there's nothing you can do about it? Like, I don't. It's just. Wikipedia is like my museum, and Google Images is my going outside to let me eat the pub food and get so drunk that I forget where I'm staying.
The problem is that we have been ruined as a generation because we're the first ones to be... We've got information at our fingertips. We've got all the pictures of... We've got everything on our phones, literally. Like, we can Google anything and it's right there. And that's kind of made us a little bit like... I don't want to... I've already got the picture on my phone. I don't want to... I mean, I mean, it's great that... I think, our generation will cure cancer and they'll, be the best... The best version of...
You just said breast.
Did you say breast?
I did say breast. Yeah. Well, that's true. We will be the best breasts.
Yeah, that's true. Someone say we already are. I don't know why I said that as if I have a really obvious boob job or something like that. Like, someone say we already are. Check these. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I've been traveling like quite a bit, but like I asked someone who recently went to Costa Rica, and I was like, oh my god, what's it like? I'd love to go there. What's it like? And he was like, imagine what it looks like in your head. And I was like, okay, like that's exactly what it is. And that's so true with traveling. Like, as much as I love it, you can just imagine the place and it'll be exactly the same. So if you went to that place expecting anything different, you will be disappointed.
Yeah, in fact, it'll probably be a little bit worse. Like,
yeah, because you've just had this amazing image of, like, for instance, you're talking about New York. So, like, I have this insane image of New York, and I assume people, like, have the same of London. And I go to London, and it's, okay, it's nice and all, but there are absolute shit parts of it, and you will see that and you'll be like, what the fuck, this is not what Google Images promised me.
Yeah, London does nothing to me as a city. Like, it's,
yeah, I went to London. I hate London.
I don't hate it. I just, it's fine. Too many people, but whatever. Like, that's fine. They got their whole London thing going on. The whole fuck literally every person around me thing going on. But
I hate how populated it is, and at the same time, I really, really want to go to Tokyo, because Tokyo is apparently one of those places where no matter how much you imagine it, it's just like a completely different world.
yeah,
And it's amazing.
there's a few places I want to go to in Japan and stuff. Like, but I don't know. I would like to go to Tokyo, but I have a feeling that I would hate every second of it while I'm there.
Yeah, my housemate has been to Tokyo, been to Japan even quite a few times, and I was like, oh, Tokyo looks amazing. And he just gave me like the biggest eye roll. And he's like, there are so many places in Japan that are just amazing, but I've just been, accustomed to, like, oh, Tokyo's amazing, like bright lights, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, there's a forest in Japan where everyone goes to kill themselves. For some reason, that's really appealing to me.
Is that like actually? Because I've heard about that, but is that more of a thing like a few people committed suicide, so now everyone goes there? Or is it like an ongoing thing?
Yeah, it's called the Jukai, Jukai, but its actual name is like the Aokigahara jungle, or forest, rather. Don't know why I said jungle.
It's not called like Suicide Park or something.
No, if you Google the Suicide Forest, you will find it.
No.
I think there was some like love story written in the 50s about it, where the two main characters commit suicide in that forest at the end, and I guess it must have been one of those like Catcher in the Rye type stories that like entranced a bunch of like that weird stage of adolescence where you want to kill yourself every day. I think it was like that. Like, that's the generation that it touched or whatever. So people did start going there to kill themselves, and then it just kind of became a thing. And I partly think they play it up for tourist reasons as well, because I watched this Swedish documentary where they went through the forest, and like a lot of the ropes and stuff hanging off trees are just props. Like a guy tries swinging out of them, and there's no way that it could hold a person up. But they also do an annual body hunt where they go and fish out all the bodies, and they find a lot of corpses in there every year. And there are even people who like homeless people go in there to loot bodies and stuff, and apparently they find like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, so it's.
I mean,
Can you imagine
the homeless people looting the bodies isn't as weird as the annual body hunt, which sounds like an Easter egg hunt, but not for children.
Yeah, the president of Japan like leads a bunch of people through the forest as well, and whoever finds the most bodies wins those bodies.
With 10,000 Japanese dollars.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if like Theresa May was like, oh, this is a forest where like loads of people commit suicide, and we're gonna advertise this for tourism? Like, people would lose their fucking brains.
It's not that they actually advertise it, right? But it's like I feel like it's
so well known.
It's advantageous for your town to have a sinister edge. Like, stuff like that is just good for business. Like, I mean, I'm an example.
There's
of
a cafe outside.
Yeah. Come buy your rope here. Nah, that's terrible. But
no, it is true. Like, if there's like a guy, like a murderer who lived in the town, and he killed 7 people in that home, and that house becomes a place that tourists visit.
It's true.
Like, this is where 7 people were murdered. Isn't that exciting?
God, look at the catacombs in Paris. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a tomb. Like, that's what you're.
I mean, I'm from Sweden. I was born and lived there. And like during the winter, I think everyone knows this. During the winter, it's basically really fucking cold and really shit.
What?
And a lot.
Wait. Scandinavia is cold?
Swedish people see in pure electricity. What?
you won't believe this Swedish fact. BuzzFeed article said, but so like we used to get lessons in the winter about like not suicide prevention, but like basically telling us like, oh, like summer will come and it'll be really nice, and like they give out like not free holidays but a lot of holiday time during the winter as well, like to basically say fuck off for 3 weeks, just get some sun and vitamin D, and then come back a happier person, just because of how many people commit suicide then.
Yeah, it's like that's why Christmas was originally invented as it's basically a celebration of surviving the winter, because winter is just miserable for the reason that like winter used to mean that people like literally die, but also the what's it called, seasonal dissociative disorder or disaffective disorder, where
I think so,
lack of exposure to sunlight makes you like literally sadder. It reduces the serotonin intake in your brain. It's like it fucks you up. Like you feel a sense of dread when the evenings get shorter because it messes with your circadian rhythm. And I know so many big words that I sound like I know exactly what I'm talking about, but I just made like half of that up. So
It's literally why old people move to Florida in America, because it's the sunshine state or some bullshit.
Yeah, I remember
just
like
had enough of winter.
I remember like during the winter we'd get like literally a couple, and by couple I mean like 2 to 3 hours of sunshine a day. And like I didn't realize like how sad I was until then. Like we used to go every winter to like Dubai or Tunisia or somewhere like that where it's a bit, warmer. And I'd literally step off the airplane and just feel like a radiation of happiness sweep by me. Like the effect it has on you is just ridiculous. It's not nice.
Like I got off the plane in Singapore and I was like, this is too fucking hot.
Yeah. we left Sweden, I remember once, and it was like minus 17, and like we were like over like onesies but like thicker basically, and I was still wearing that in the airport, and I got off in Dubai and it was like 45 degrees, and I was like holy shit, and I didn't even know what a vest was, and I was like this is fucking ridiculous, like I'm sweating like a monkey. It's not nice.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible. But yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think the body's used to like 40-degree shifts within a few hours.
Nor should it be. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to mountain goats.
I still have the Google image page of mountain goats open.
I mean, honestly, I don't think like I wouldn't like. Okay, maybe mountain goats is a bit too far, but like the amount of genetic modification and like gene therapy that they're trialing now, especially I don't know why, but France is really fucked up. Like they do a lot of stuff that I don't understand how it's legal. But it seems like they've just bypassed all the I don't know. I'm assuming there's like a governing body of science that says do not do this. But they're really interested in like manipulating like superhumans. Like there's I'm gonna butcher this completely, but there's like KV1.3 gene, and it's to do with like the odors and like the smell, and they've unblocked it. So basically they just put a drug into mice and they unblocked it, and the mice can smell up to 10,000 times like increased factor. And I think the scientific article I was reading, it was talking about how in France the people like there's career as like a perfumer, and they need to identify 600 basic compounds, and it takes 7 years of training to do that job. And I feel like they've just been like, fuck this, we're just using gene therapy to cancel that out. But yeah, like they do a lot of experiments where they're just trying to create really weird stuff and unblocking certain genes for us to have like superhuman powers.
France is a super interesting country for its contribution to understanding of psychology and psychiatry. Like if you ever look up different psychological conditions and stuff, like pretty much everything we know about all of them comes from France. Like it's actually crazy the level of input they've had in that scientific field. Like I think they're really like ahead of the curve in terms of how in touch with I don't know, like not quite genetics but more like the self they are. Like they're usually characterized as really highly emotional people, and I feel like the average French person is probably more in touch with their potential and their abilities and their emotional landscape than like any other country. And I mean I'm hypothesizing that based on what I've read like in psychology and stuff, and also conversations I've had with Dr. John about different psychological conditions and stuff. But there are so many pioneers in that field from France, so like it doesn't surprise me that they're getting in ahead of the curve in like genetic modification and stuff like that as well, because they've already bossed the whole psychological education field.
Would you be interested in like being sort of not a trial, but like if you knew it would work, would you be like, sign me up for everything, I want like superhuman powers?
Not really.
Really?
The only superpower that I need is crystal meth, baby. No, I'd really like to have like, I feel like I'm fine. Like, I think I have a perfectly active mind, and the only thing that gets in my way is myself. So I think if I could just have the ability to be as lazy as I am, but do all the things that I want to do but can't for whatever reason. Like, if there was a drug that gave you motivation that was available for like $59.99 a month, which is what I spend on. No, I don't know, if they could, you know, the movie Limitless, if they could just make me do that, I'm down with that. Just if I could just consume knowledge at the flick of a switch or whatever, like, that's fine. As long as I get to keep my own brain and be able to think like myself, then
yeah. I don't think I don't think I have the right now currently. I mean, it depends. I mean, I couldn't do like I wouldn't want all the superpowers like because then you'd have to like save people and shit. And like, I know on a Tuesday morning I'd be like, nah, fuck. There's a what going on in Africa? No, I just I recorded The Walking Dead from last night. I need to watch that. Like, I don't know. I think like there's certain superpowers that would be cool. Like invisibility would be great. Like, and you could probably get away with not using it for good. Well, or also not evil, just get away with using it in an everyday sort of like way, but
so that you could say you were at the party and talk about it, but you don't have to actually fucking interact with anybody.
Exactly, that sort of thing. Yeah, sneak into the cinema to see movies.
Sneak into mass so you can be at church, but you don't have to give anything to the church.
To the
basket.
yeah. Because that's the worst, isn't it? Like having to like.
That's the only thing that stops me from going to mass.
Yeah. Just the pressure from like giving money at the end of it. I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, the social and the offering each other a sign of peace, having to shake people's hands. I'm just not into that either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that.
We just fist bump instead or something.
And also the whole eating the biscuit of Christ thing. I'm not. That's weird because like it's just odd to me that like he comes back from the dead and we just get straight in there, start eating his corpse.
Yeah.
There must be a better way.
Yeah, we're honouring him with cannibalism.
Yeah.
Don't you get it? No, I don't understand.
Drink the Lord's blood.
Yeah, you drink his blood. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Isn't it really weird that they probably buy that blood for like $9.99 in Tesco? Fuck. Yeah. It's just I don't know. Catholicism, bros. It's fucking weird.
I was in a lecture today, and our lecturer was talking about how to get a milligram of a certain protein, he needed 260 liters of human blood. And I just felt like, what the fuck? You needed 260 liters of donated blood, and they got a milligram of a protein they wanted to study. I just felt like that. I was like,
there's 10 pints of blood in the human body. How many liters is that? That's like 5 liters, give or take, right? Like 5.5 liters or something like that. So he needs like essentially 50 humans worth of blood.
I think it's like 10 gallons, no, not gallons, Jesus Christ, 10 pints of blood.
A pint is, hold on, I'm surrounded by 2 pint glasses. It must say it on one somewhere. A pint is like 568 milliliters, I think. So, you know, you got 10 of those in a person. So that's like...
Yeah, 5.5 liters.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. That's right. So that into... I am so nervous every time I attempt to do maths on my podcast because
Because of past experiences.
Yeah, I've been burned before.
hmm Numbers have not been kind to you.
Numbers have not been kind to me. That's correct. You know the TV show Numbers, where they solve crimes by doing maths or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
I would
You
not
would
do
you would have solved no crimes.
I would have just been like, I would have turned up to every crime scene and been like, it seems Woody Allen is active once again.
You'd be great in Countdown, like just staring at the numbers.
Wait, isn't Countdown a... Oh yeah, they do a maths thing on there too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, forget that. I would play the word game though.
This is slightly off topic, but I was reading about LSD, because when you have access to a lot of journals, that's what you do. Should I take LSD? No, I'm just joking.
In my experience,
speaking from experience, yes. Like apparently it makes people like very empathetic.
Yeah.
And they can like, I feel it's like a story of how some people struggle to eat in the same room as other people because they're so empathetic to the levels they can. If they eat with another person, they get full up just watching the other person eat.
Yeah,
so
it's LSD kind of shows you yourself in a completely different light. It's like it removes your consciousness from your body, but it leaves all of your thoughts in there, so that you observe yourself as all of your thoughts. So like you're a spectator to yourself.
That's all from what you're reading from the internet, isn't it, Al?
Yeah, I've never.
Of course.
Yeah, I've never done drugs, but it's like when you come down off an LSD trip, you sort of like immediately see the world in a completely different way. Like the context of every interaction is slightly different to varying degrees depending on how recently it's been since you took it. But like when you, I don't know, just when you interact with people, you just see the entire situation differently. Yeah, with more empathy is like a really good description of it because you're just more aware of things. Yeah,
like the most druggy or I don't know hippie thing that like enters my mind is like when I read all these animal superpowers saying like, you know, sharks see electricity and like all how different animals like bats they see in different ways, like how the universe actually looks like, because like obviously we see it in one way, but like if like the influence of drugs like LSD, people have different accounts of how the universe is, like maybe that's actually how the universe is and we're just not like able to, we don't have the right, I don't know, stimuli or nerve receptors to actually process it or see it in that wavelength.
And that's probable, I think. Like,
I think it's more likely it is that way than it's not, because to say, oh, the way we see it is the way it is very, I don't know, self-centered maybe.
Yeah, because when you were saying all of that, when you were saying all that made up shit about sharks and the way they see earlier, I was just thinking to myself, like straight away, I was like, wow, the way I see the world this is another reason why the way I see the world is more than likely incorrect. Because as humans, we do this horrible thing of assuming that the way we see everything is the way that everything is, and it's not. And like we always think that when aliens come down, that they're gonna see us and be like, you're the rulers of this planet, you're on our level. It's like, look at the way we treat other things that are on this planet. It's not very well. Like plants are living things, and we kill them in front of their children.
Yeah.
Hey, don't make fun of vegans.
It is weird. It is weird that I spent most of my childhood, or not most, I say most, like I'm some sort of psycho, but a part of it just kicking flowers.
Oh, I used to pull like daisies apart, because how else was I going to know if she loves me? So it's like...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's just the thing, I didn't fucking know that was a living, breathing organism. It's crazy. It's like, I don't know, I mean, if there's one thing we can take away from this podcast is that drugs are the only possible answer to anything.
The only way you're going to be happy, kids, is if you do LSD.
You didn't hear that from me.
And this is where I sign out of Skype.
Yeah. This has been a really good episode, though. I actually really enjoyed it. I think I really like the way the the title is going to be something like animals with unbelievable superpowers. And that will be true for the first 45 minutes. And then things are going to get a little bit different to the conversation that you were expecting. But that's cool. I like it. That's what we do. Ali, I'd actually like to have you back so that we can talk about more stuff about science and
great.
shit.
Thank you for having me, I guess.
Not at all. Thanks for coming on and for doing literally all of the legwork for that.
Yeah, you did come to the table with stuff, which is good.
You did the heavy lifting, and
Hey, don't discredit yourself for this more. It wouldn't have been the same without you.
Wait, did we mention the Wolverine skunk bet? No, we've passed it. We've gone. Oh yeah. This is the end of the podcast now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I will cut that into the beginning. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, if I still have that piece of audio, I will definitely throw it in there when I edit this podcast. This I was about to say this podcast will be up early. It's like you're at the fucking end of it now, so I assume you know that. No point in me announcing that. We should do a live one of these someday. I think that'd be good.
Oh,
How would that work?
Yeah, how would that work?
Who
on
knows?
YouTube.
Yeah, well, you can do it on YouTube or whatever. There's other platforms or ways that. I mean, to be honest, it's never gonna happen because I don't do stuff that I say I'll do. But it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it sounded good when you said it.
Yeah.
I was like,
isn't that the main thing? It's that instant gratification. Like
That's what we said earlier. It's great making plans, but sticking to them, nah, fuck that.
yeah. It's just like. Yeah, self-loathing is the price you have to pay, but that's a problem for you in the future. So you're like, I can do this now, and it feels really good instantly. So that's good.
yeah,
and that's how I started heroin. Good night, everyone. That was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was fun. How was it? An hour 46. Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you've waited long for this. A deep awakening comes in to sweep your sorry eyes. Where there once was absent thoughts, now pictures intervene, and from those memories you've gone, you find a way to finally see that it's just a tale of a jet black swan. It's just a tale of a jet black swan. It's just a tale of a jet black swan. It's just a tale of a jet black swan.
So there you have it, folks. It turns out it was animal superpowers all along. I really hope you guys enjoyed that episode. As much as we enjoyed recording it, like I had a really good time. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'd like to do more episodes like this in the future. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. And the song ending the episode is The Tale of a Jet Black Swan by a band called Idiot Pilot. It was their last single before they disbanded, which left me heartbroken because I was a huge fan. They had 2 albums. One is called Strange We Should Meet Here and one is called Wolves, and they are from, I don't know, 2007 I think is when Strange We Should Meet Here came out, so I'm gonna guess that Wolves came out in 2009. But they're really good. I mean, if you're like a music purist, you'll listen to them and say, this is objectively bad, this is nonsense, this is people trying to be Radiohead. But it's really just 2 teenagers recording an album with some recording software, and for what it is, like I think they're really enjoyable. But anyway, how is it relevant to this episode? You know, it's not, but a swan is an animal, and this episode referenced animals on more than one occasion, so I think it fits in there somehow. Anyways, I'm going to leave you with the rest of the song, and as I said at the top of the episode, if you want to leave a like, leave a rating, all of that stuff, it really just helps to calm my anxiety and boost my ego back to a sustainable level. So that's pretty much what it's all about. And yeah, anyway, I've enjoyed. I've been El Dinero. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't know why I said I've enjoyed. I'm rushing this intro because I'm going out in like 5 minutes and I'm not ready. So with all that out of the way, fuck this.
They remind us not to blame or shy away our souls. Can't imagine
You got lots of information?
Well, I mean, I did a lot of presentations at university regarding like, but it's a lot of it is also like ethics. So like, I did a presentation whether the intelligence of dolphins like warrants their own individual like sort of human rights. So like, I have like some background info on like animals and so on. So I'm hoping I can.
I mean, that's way more than I brought to the table, so I think we should be good.
I don't think you should shoot down BuzzFeed articles that quickly.
I've actually moved on from BuzzFeed.
Crank.com.
I'm on the Logan Wikipedia page.
We should talk about how a wolverine is actually not a female wolf. Like, that blew my mind when I figured that out. Like, what the fuck? A wolverine is a completely different animal separate from a wolf? That's just ridiculous.
What is it then?
Some other animal.
Does it look like a wolf?
I want to say yes. I mean, in my head, I'm just picturing Chris Benoit murdering his family, so...
There is a lot of evidence. Have you guys heard the story about the wolves and the dolphins? And the evolution of that?
No.
So
Please tell me that they crossbred at some point.
Sort of. Like, there's a lot of theories, Eddie Bravo style theories, that it all stems from this one instance where a man was rowing on a lake, and he noticed the whistling of the dolphins was sort of in communication with the wolves. And if you look at the old sort of, if you go back into the wolves sort of ancestors, their skeletons are remarkably similar to dolphins back then. So there's like quite a lot of theories that at some point they sort of cross. But like there's a lot of written like research papers about how dolphin and wolves are able to communicate, which is pretty fascinating.
That's fucked up.
Also,
Yes.
we'll keep that, like, the wolf, right, this is the headline on Wikipedia. The wolverine, also known as the gulo gulo, also referred to as the glutton, the cahayo, the skunk bear, or quick hatch. Right, skunk bear would have been an amazing alternative name.
It's actually, if you look at a picture of it, it does look like, I mean, the
A skunk
laziest thing you could come up with to describe it
Yeah.
is skunk bear, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty badass looking creatures, to be fair.
I would definitely not want to mess with them.
I wouldn't like to mess with the gentleman that plays Wolverine in the movie Logan.
Oh my god, yeah. Did you see the film?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I think I saw that film like 4 times in cinema, and I think I'm still blown away every single time.
I want to see it again. I've only seen it the one time, but the the Fate of the Furious is out now, so I have to go see that next.
Oh, of course. Tradition. As tradition speak. Yeah, no, I don't know how many. Is this an 8th, 9th one?
The 8th.
Jesus Christ.
I tweeted about a joke in 2014 about the prospect of an 8th Fast and Furious movie, and it's like, how are they still going? Like, that's not even fucking possible.
And there's gonna be a 9th one too.
Fuck
Yeah.
off. No way.
Well, this one's already made like $1,600 billion or whatever it is.
It overtook Star Wars, didn't it?
I think so, yeah. Best gross opening weekend. But like, they're fucking awesome movies, you know? You just...
Yeah, but I don't know.
I know, they're objectively bad, but
Yeah.
what can you do?
Well, they kind of like, they hit every, like, key demographic, don't they? Like,
Yeah, that's what...
you know what I mean? Like, there's an Asian person, and a woman, and a bald fella, and The Rock,
And Paul Walker.
and Paul Walker's Ghost, and cars, and a submarine, and Charlize Theron, and a bigger submarine, and a tank, and we're just like, yeah, I mean, fuck, like that. I mean, no one's ever described a Fast and Furious movie as like objectively good, but it's like they're almost like perfect summer blockbusters, aren't they? Really, that's basically what they're.
They're objectively entertaining, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Regardless of what you actually think about the subject matter, they're great movies.
It's professional wrestling on
Steroids.
yes, basically, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to just make sure that this is recording because I have had problems lately and I don't trust that it is recording. So I'm going to start the call again.
Alright, okay.